At the start of the movie, Mallory drives her car across a hot, empty desert. Her wedding is just a week away, so she's leaving the city to go to her sister's house and prepare. Despite the upcoming wedding, Mallory doesn't seem thrilled. She's unsure about getting married so quickly. During her trip, Mallory video chats with her sister, Ella. Ella senses something's amiss and asks if Mallory is truly happy and in love. Ella hasn't bought Mallory's plane tickets yet because she wants to ensure Mallory is certain about marriage. After the call, Mallory tries to pretend everything's fine, but it's evident something is bothering her. She quickly ends the chat. Lost in thought, she takes a quiet side road to reach Denver faster. However, her plan fails when her car breaks down, leaving her stranded in the middle of nowhere with no phone signal. All alone and unable to fix her car, Mallory finds herself in a difficult situation. Mallory tries to open a soda, but it sprays everywhere, soaking her clothes. She wants to change in her car but gets scared when a stranger, Christian, approaches. Christian is friendly and offers to help, so he starts working on her car. Luckily, Christian is skilled at fixing things and soon gets her car running again. Mallory is grateful and soon she's back on the road, feeling fortunate once more. As Mallory drives, she considers offering Christian a ride since he fixed her car and had to walk. She asks him if he'd like to come along, and he agrees immediately. However, Mallory soon discovers that Christian is quite talkative. He begins sharing stories about himself to impress her. Throughout the journey, Mallory has to endure Christian's constant chatter, but she also learns more about him along the way. Just then, Christian starts acting strangely. He talks about weird ideas about destiny and their meeting, which makes Mallory nervous. Then, he begins saying rude and inappropriate things. Mallory's had enough and stops the car, telling Christian firmly to get out. She won't tolerate his mean words anymore and just wants to feel safe. Even though Mallory tells him to leave, Christian refuses to listen and exits the car. Stuck in this situation, Mallory knows she needs to take action to protect herself. As she considers her options, she notices that Christian didn't buckle his seatbelt. Feeling frightened, Mallory presses the gas pedal as hard as she can and steers towards a metal railing on a bend in the road. The car crashes into the railing and flips off the road. The scene goes dark, and when it comes back, Mallory finds herself hanging upside down in her wrecked car. Trapped in the wrecked car, Mallory can't move because her foot is stuck. Luckily for him, Christian wasn't wearing his seatbelt and got thrown out when the car crashed. He's injured, but not as badly as Mallory. When Christian wakes up, he staggers over to Mallory's car. Mallory's in much worse shape, especially because her leg is trapped. Christian sees her stuck leg and knows she's in a much tougher spot than him. But he doesn't care at all that Mallory's hurt. He tells her to get out of the wrecked car herself, even though she clearly can't. Then, he just walks away, leaving her stuck and scared. As night falls, Mallory screams for help as loudly as she can, but her voice fades into the darkness. There's a river nearby, so maybe someone will notice her, but she's stuck there for what feels like forever. With each passing hour, Mallory gets more and more worried about what will happen to her. As the night grows darker and colder, Mallory starts shivering on top of everything else that's wrong. She searches the wrecked car and finds some of her clothes. Despite her injuries, she manages to put them on and feels a little warmer in her familiar clothes. Thankfully, the car battery still has some power. Mallory switches on the heater and feels grateful for a bit of warmth on the chilly night. However, Mallory knows she's not safe yet. With the forest nearby, she worries about wild animals coming after her. To scare them off, she turns on the car's headlights in a smart move. Luckily, it works, and she avoids a scary encounter with nighttime creatures. Despite the freezing temperatures and being still trapped, Mallory makes it through the long, dreadful night. She's bruised and beaten, but she's alive. This demonstrates her toughness and determination to survive. The sun comes up, but Mallory's situation hasn't improved. She's still trapped upside down in her car, with hardly any water left and nothing to eat. The whole day passes, and no one comes to help. Even worse, the next morning is just as tough. Mallory is still stuck and by herself, with no sign of rescue. Then, out of the blue, Christian shows up again. But he doesn't seem to care at all that Mallory has been stuck there for so long, in pain and afraid. He seems happy about it. He even starts eating and drinking right in front of her, as if he's enjoying her suffering. To make things worse, Christian mentions a cabin nearby but doesn't offer to help Mallory get there. He just teases her with some strange ideas about fate and then leaves her alone again as night falls. Just when things seem hopeless, Mallory finds a lighter in her stuff. She manages to light it, and even though it's just a tiny flame, it gives her a little bit of light and warmth in the cold night. But her moment of relief is ruined when a bunch of rats appear. They seem like they're just playing around, but it reminds Mallory of how dangerous her situation is. Mallory is feeling desperate. She's stuck and frightened, but she gets really brave and kills one of the rats. It's horrible, but she knows it might be her only chance to eat and survive. The next morning comes, and a sound breaks through the darkness. Her phone ringing. It's like a ray of hope, maybe even a rescue team calling. Just as Mallory starts to feel hopeful with her phone ringing, it's cruelly taken away. Christian shows up again. Mallory's heart sinks, and she quickly hides her phone, not trusting him at all. His return brings back the torment. He starts talking about the cabin again, making Mallory feel even more trapped and scared. The small glimmer of hope she had is gone, replaced by the dark reality of being stuck and the fear of what Christian might do. Christian's chilling revelation sends a shiver down Mallory's spine as he divulges his sinister scheme. With a twisted sense of reassurance, he assures her that she has nothing to fear from him, claiming he intends to assist her escape. However, any sense of relief is short-lived as Christian forcibly confiscates Mallory's cell phone, eroding what little sense of autonomy she has left. To her horror, he then hands her a saw, ostensibly offering a means of escape. Yet, his true intentions quickly become clear as he callously reveals his expectation for her to use the saw to mutilate herself and secure her freedom, plunging Mallory deeper into a nightmare of desperation and dread. Struggling with Christian's scary choice, Mallory feels stuck in a really scary situation. Holding the saw tight, she feels scared about what she has to do next. As night comes, Mallory feels even more alone and scared, with no idea what will happen to her. Even though Christian's mean words keep echoing in her head, Mallory can't figure out how to deal with the scary reality she's facing. She cries out in frustration, feeling like nobody can hear her in the dark. But then, like a blessing, the rain starts to fall, giving Mallory something to drink and calming her down a bit. It's like a tiny bit of hope in the middle of all the fear. Even though the rain makes everything wet and soggy, it also brings some relief to Mallory's scared heart. But when she listens to the radio, she hears about the flooded roads, making her feel trapped in her scary spot. And just when she thought things couldn't get any worse, she sees Christian coming back through the storm, bringing all her fears back to life. With desperate ingenuity, Mallory comes up with a bold plan. She uses the rat's blood to pretend she's dead, hoping to trick her relentless pursuer and break free from danger. In a tense moment, Mallory pretends to be lifeless, blending into the eerie scene of her struggle to escape. When Christian approaches, his flashlight casting stark light, Mallory takes her opportunity, swiftly stabbing him before he realizes what's happening. With a rush of energy, Mallory grabs the keys from Christian, skillfully planning her getaway by securing his vehicle and locking him out, freeing herself from his control. With firm determination, Mallory throws away the keys into the dark of the night, making sure Christian is stuck in his lies. Her bold plan relies on the chance that someone will find his empty car, leading to her rescue. Luckily, a police car's lights shine in the empty landscape, offering hope in the storm. But Mallory's calls for help are drowned out by the storm's noise, her urgent requests unheard. Despite this, Christian keeps pretending he's innocent, asking the officer for help while hiding his true self behind lies. In the heavy rain and Mallory's hopeless cries, she struggles with the scary idea that she might be running out of time. Christian's scary words keep coming back to her, pushing her towards a desperate decision. Mallory faces the harsh truth of her situation with all her determination. With shaky hands, she holds the knife, ready to cut the rope that's tying her to certain death. But then, by chance, the rising floodwaters come to her rescue, pulling her away from despair. Suddenly, luck turns her way as the strong current breaks open the door of her trapped car, freeing her from the suffocating water. With every step, Mallory feels more and more in a hurry, realizing how badly she needs medical help and a way to escape. As she gets closer to the river, she sees a cabin. Its peace is broken by loud cries coming from inside. The sudden noise startles Mallory, making her approach carefully. But as she moves forward, she falls into a hidden trap, reminding her of the dangerous place she's in. However, amid all this confusion, she has a realization. The cabin, the same one Christian mentioned, might be the answer to her problems. Using her newfound determination, Mallory cautiously moves around the cabin, feeling her heart race with excitement. Inside, a terrifying scene unfolds. Christian, the one causing fear, has a young girl named Katie as a prisoner, his hold on her getting stronger with time. Gathering all her bravery, Mallory sneaks into the cabin, feeling the tension in the air. With strong determination, she grabs the fallen officer's gun, a symbol of hope in the darkness. As Christian gets closer, Mallory's determination grows stronger. With steady resolve, she faces the embodiment of evil, holding the officer's gun firmly. Christian's constant attack forces Mallory to act, her inner voice telling her to keep Katie safe no matter what. With strong determination, she fights Christian, each moment a fight for survival. Even as the battle gets tougher, Mallory stays strong, her attention fixed despite all the chaos. In a crucial moment, Mallory tells Katie to run to safety, her words giving hope in the middle of all the trouble. While Christian looks around the room, furious, Mallory manages to escape his reach, slipping away like a wisp of smoke. In a final act of rebellion, Mallory faces off with Christian on the balcony. Their clash becomes more violent and desperate. Acting quickly and decisively, she pushes him over the edge, his fate sealed as he falls into a bear trap below. As Christian suffers, Mallory stands victorious, staring at him with determination as she gives him a chilling choice. With fairness at stake, she leaves him to face his fate, a fitting punishment for his wrongdoings. With Katie beside her, Mallory heads into the unknown. Though their future is unclear, it's full of possibilities, marking the end of their scary journey.